BOSS, Southside Boss Radio.
I wanna leave a mark, and I wanna make it legendary, with an emphasis on legendary. Yeah, I know I'm one of a kind. Sometimes I wish I could be different, but I can't change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint.
I cannot rap about no trap, cause I ain't sold no crack. But if you been here from the start, you know I know about that. Dysfunctional family, but wouldn't change it for nothing. I'm a scarred teddy bear with these stitches and buttons. Birth of brave creatures, I cannot sit up in these bleachers. I'd rather tell my story on these songs and these features. Look at your fingerprints, they are one of a kind. God has blessed you with the mind to direct the blind. And they ain't talking about the focal, so adjust your vocal. I know at times it seems the devil's got you in the chokehold. Just breathe. It's 18 and 21, I know we're talking about the fingers, but there's power in the tongue. I speak life and breathe life in the walking dead. I know some counted them out, but I hope they change their head. Matter of fact, change their heart, giving brand new starts. Make them legendary like David, they leaving their marks.
I wanna leave a mark, and I wanna make it legendary, with an emphasis on legendary. Yeah, I know I'm one of a kind. Sometimes I wish I could be different, but I can't change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint.
Can't change that. Took some time, but I found who I was. Who I am is an artist without the deal of the buzz. Accept the gift and the curse, but I'm a blessing in this verse. Be a light up on the earth before my corpse is in the hearse. Know what I mean? Young people, you can be what you aspire to be. Doctor, lawyer, the head of an embassy. Ambassador for human rights, you can lead the fight. Just make sure that your strike is bigger than your human bite. Don't just be talking. Cause some talk without muscle. And some crime but don't hustle. They don't work hard at all. And they wonder why their stars don't change. You can't grow without the growing pains. I often wonder the pain of Nelson Mandela. Then I'm taken to the quotes of Helen Keller. It says, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. So I say write it down, make it plain, and execute your vision.
Mark, and I wanna make it legendary, with an emphasis on legendary. Yeah, I know I'm one of a kind. Sometimes I wish I could be different, but I can't change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. I can't change my fingerprint. Change my finger. I can't change my fingerprint. Change my fingerprint. I can't change my fingerprint.
BOSS, Southside Boss Radio.
What it is, everybody, what it is, everybody, what it is. This is your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses. You know, we coming live here on BOSS Radio's Revolutionary Hour, where we definitely got some great knowledge to drop on y'all tonight. Tonight, we're going to be doing something big, but before I explain what we're going to be doing, I want y'all to go ahead and follow, like, and subscribe to our channel on your favorite streaming service, whether it be Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Deezer, or more. Just go ahead and look up Revolutionary Hour. I guarantee you're going to know what it is. It's that red flag with the green 5-point star because it represents our nation, baby. So you know we're going to go down and do it real good. So now, you know, tonight we're going to have some guests on because we definitely got to get to the point where we are listening to each other. And that's what this whole episode is going to be about. It's going to be about listening to the black woman. making sure that we can understand her, because it seems like she is understood. And black men, guess what? Them white men are pretending to understand your women. So what we need to do, we need to get on the same page. That way we can become a culture again, because we have a long way to go. So it all starts with dialogue. So I have invited some black women, some beautiful black women on our show tonight, starting with my beautiful co-host, Miss E Square. How you doing tonight, Mama?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing fine. How's everyone out there doing?
Alrighty, so we're gonna be going live here, and we're gonna be bringing in some guests here in just a moment. But before that, I do want to go ahead and get a word from our sponsor. Play a little bit more music while we go ahead and collect everybody and get everybody online. And when we come back, we're gonna get it started. But just to let y'all know what this show is about, we're gonna start off talking about pretty much why white women are getting married by 25 and black women are pushing 30 to 35 without being married. What is it? So I want to get the answer straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, that sounded wrong. I want to get the question straight from the women's mouth. That is not a crack at y'all here, women. I do not want y'all to do me like Chris Rock. Anyways, so when we come back, we're going to break it down with the black women. The black women are going to break it down for you and let you know what it's really about. And I want to let y'all know right now, black women are not a monolith. These black women speak for themselves, and they're going to keep it real about themselves. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, turn up, zone out, like, follow, and subscribe to us on your favorite streaming service, and share us to all your family and friends, because I guarantee you're related to a black woman somewhere down the line, even if your name is Mr. Thompson. Alright, so before we get it started, we got a word from our sponsor. We got some very good, beautiful, and you know what? Since tonight is about black women, I want to go ahead and give an early shout out to all the mothers out there, because see, the world want us to wait till May to say that you're a great mother. Fuck that. I want to say you're a great mother all year round, because that's when you do it. You are a great mother all year round. So that's what Southside Beauty Care is going to reward you for being a great mother all year round. So all y'all listeners out there, if you got a mom, or if that you got a woman out there that has sired, or that has mothered your seed and has taken care of your seed, whether they was a biological mother or not, you need to show them some love. So hit Southside Beauty Care up, and this is your boy Mr. E with Miss E Square. We doing it big here, and this is Skin and hair care makes the perfect gifts. Oh yeah? Yeah, especially when it comes in all natural forms for Southside Beauty Care. Our gift boxes include natural and raw black soap from Africa, hair and beard oil that will make your hair strong and shiny, beard balm with essential oils such as cedarwood, hoe wood, and more to style that manscape on your face.
I could use that.
Our signature skincare cream designed to quench your skin's thirst and make it shine like Bruce Leroy in The Last Dragon.
Did you just show your age?
Get your box today at SouthsideBeautyCare.com.
Tell me, do you got love for me when it feels so ugly, ugly, ugly? Homie, I got pain. Don't think you feel it. I got this rain. Don't think they hear it. I feel so lost and afraid. Oh Lord, could you show me the way? I'm singing. Round here so ugly. Why I feel so ugly? Is it true that you still love me? He sees the best me.
Mama on that ugly, Papa on that coca too. Raised up in this poverty, what in the world I'm supposed to do? Tell me, do you know? Cause young Izzy has no hint or clue. Just because I found God doesn't mean I'm brand new. Oh, he's just a church boy. No, he don't hurt, boy. What you think I'm blind and I don't know about that work, boy? Please don't be fooled, I'm from the same neighborhood as you. Deep boys, crack fiends, running from them boys in blue. Trash on the ground, filled with broken glass. Ganja in the air, welcome to the lower class. Youngins on the porch, steady wasting all their time. Trying to come up very fast, steady selling nicks and dimes. Home at 25 with an 8th grade education. It's happening in your town, matter of fact, around the nation. I can be that chick when nobody loves to hug me. I'm praying every night, wondering if he loves ugly.
Homie, I got pain. You feel it. I got this rain. They hear it. I feel so lost and afraid.
men can get aggressive, I'm gon' get myself killed. $20 for a drink, I know I'm worth more than this. I wanna change my life, God, I really wanna quit. But who gon' take me as I am? Preacher said that I am damned. Every man that ever smiles sees me as a piece of ham. Got a virus in my body from a man who robbed and raped me. The way I live my life is sorta like modern slavery. My people let me go, how in the world I make my dough? Turning tricks to make a buck is all this girl has ever known. On the outside looking in, it's easy to be the judge. Reconsider your words if you never drunk from my mug. Please tell me what is the love, cause I don't see it on earth. Been having sex with these men since 5 years after my birth. I was raped and abused by my mother's second husband. Ever since then, I've been chasing down love and I'm ugly.
Babe, you feel it, I'm standing in the rain. I feel so lost and afraid. Oh Lord, could you show me the way? Round here so ugly, ugly. Why I feel so ugly? Is it true that you still love me? He sees the best me.
You're smirking in your laughter when you see me in the dumpster. I'm only trying to eat, trying to satisfy my hunger. I've been unemployed since I got back to the States. Been fighting overseas, yeah, just for your sake. I suffer every day from post-traumatic stress. The war it plays back in my head, it was a mess. I seen many men die, many men cry. With the AK in my hand, I cry out to the Lord, why? I never had a family to take care of my needs. Just the VA helps sometimes, but I'm in need of more leads. This housing is expensive, proceeding all my wages. I swear that I'm a dog locked up in society's cages. You people say I'm lazy, but you don't understand. It is not easy for a war veteran. So I'm crying out loud to the one who dwells above me, hoping by chance that he does love ugly. I'm ugly.
I got pain. You feel it. I got this rain. I feel so lost and afraid. Oh Lord, could you show me the way? Round here so ugly. Why I feel so ugly? Is it true that you still love me? He sees the best me. God still loves ugly.
BOSS Radio, Southside Bosses, its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the site or the radio station, and opinions between talk show hosts may conflict. This site does not endorse anything as the truth. That you will have to judge for yourself. But we try to speak the truth on the owner's behalf and reserve the right to question the supposed truth. In this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and government corruption, it is sometimes hard to get to the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. We believe that it is our constitutional First Amendment right of free speech to voice our opinions and our duty to the Constitution and country to expose the truth. This site takes no responsibility for the opinions of others and the postings of comments in chat rooms or forum posts. Already, you already know what it is. This is your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses, and
E Square, how y'all doing?
And you know we are coming to y'all live here on Revolutionary Hour. We got a great topic, great show for you. We got some great guests on in the building, so we're going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves. But I do want to let y'all know we are expecting more guests, so it's supposed to get live and lit. So y'all make sure y'all tune in, turn up, and zone out. And ladies, how y'all doing this evening? Who are we talking to?
Hello, this is Mickey and my friend Alexis. Hello.
How y'all doing this evening?
All right.
Already, and I just want to make
Not
sure
too bad. Just got home from work.
Oh, see, you just got that's what we talking about. You are, what is it, like 9 o'clock where you at right now? 6 o'clock where you at right now?
It is 7:14.
Okay, and you just clocked out and you at home. You with the fam, right?
Yes.
All right, that's good. And I know that's a good feeling, but it's like sucks that you only get like 2 hours with them, and then you got to turn around and go to sleep just to go back and do it all over again, huh?
Yeah, I work 10-hour days.
Good God.
Sometimes longer than that.
Good God. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember them days.
But yeah, that's actually a good. I'm glad you led with that, because that is exactly what we're talking about tonight. You know, the original question that I wanted to bring to the black woman tonight. Hopefully, it's going to span into a broader conversation. But I want to start off with exactly that, because it seems like more black women compared to their white counterparts are trying to reach success before they reach a life and happiness, meaning that more white women are getting, by the U.S. Census, are getting married by the age of 25 compared to their black counterparts, which are getting married after the age of 30. And we only talking about women in this. Like, what is your thoughts about that? Is that like, is that like an issue? Is that a problem, or is that just a cultural thing and you all are just doing your thing?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I don't think I can't speak for, all black women, but I think maybe it has to do with black women nowadays are more career oriented, and wanting to have themselves more fully together before settling down and starting a family. Maybe it's different career choices. Maybe, black women today are choosing careers that take longer to gain, maybe the degree takes longer than what some of the white women are choosing. Or maybe it's I don't want to say a role reversal, but I have a friend who happens to be white and she's within that age range and she just wants to be taken care of. She doesn't want to work anymore. She wants someone to take care of her.
I mean, that goes for all of us. I'm a man and I still want somebody to take care of me.
I kind of agree with what Nikki is saying.
I just mean in the sense that she is able-bodied and of sound mind and she can work. She just doesn't want to because she wants a man to take care of her.
Right. And let's talk about okay. So I'm gonna get into the personal. Like, what do you personally believe? After I get an opinion about everybody on this subject, but let's break down. Alexis, what do you think? What about you? Why do you think that when it comes to white women, the U.S. Census has said that white women are really married by the age of 25 versus black women who gets married after the age of 30? Why do you think that is?
Okay, so this may or may not make sense, I guess, depending on who's listening, but, normally it kind of goes back to what Mickey said. Not everybody, but, a good percentage of people want to have their, life together before they start another chapter of their life with someone else. And, people of color, are usually more determined to be successful. That's not to say that, people of other races aren't, but, people of color, usually try harder to be more successful in life. You know what I mean? So I think that, sometimes black women just might, I'm trying to figure out how to word it.
Pretty much they're more focused on being career oriented and accomplishing self goals before they start getting a part of a team.
Yeah, because I know me personally, if I ever, decide I want kids one day, I want to have my life somewhat together. I want to have my career. I want to be able to make enough money to support, the child, and my husband if need be. I just want to kind of have my ducks in a row, just so to speak. I want to be able to take care of, the other side of me, if something happens. So just maybe, they think more about having themselves together, maybe versus the white woman kind of just, I don't know, they kind of just decide that they want to be with somebody and that, they don't really need to, work as hard to keep their life together. Okay. I'm not sure. That's just kind of how I feel about it. I just feel like, they work harder and they want to be more successful before they kind of start a family of their own. Because some people think about it, some don't. Some people wait a while to start families, and then some people just start families.
Right. Okay, I can feel that. I can feel that.
Versus being with.
Yeah. So, okay, so with that being said, do you feel like they are that black women are like they're taking control? They're instead of being led, they're leading.
Correct. Yes, and I personally feel like, as of like in this day and age, I feel like there's a higher percentage of black people that probably feel more empowered to be successful, and of course, women are going to be a big part of that too. Because way back when, women were basically just told to stay at home, do this, that, and the other. Don't worry about working or whatever. And there are probably more women of color today that are like, no, that's fine. I'll go work. I want to create a life for myself. I don't want to just depend on a man to take care of me. That's what I think about. When I think about getting married, I want to be able to take care of myself. And my significant other too.
I prefer to be codependent as opposed to dependent on someone. Like, when me and my husband first got married, he was like, oh, you can be a stay-at-home mom if you want. And I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, no. I'm of sound mind and body. I want to work. I want a career. And I'm not going to ask you for $20 to go to the movies.
Right.
Like, nah. Like, I'll have my money, you'll have your money, and we will have our money.
Right. Now, on the other side of that, I can also see that sometimes the pickings or the courting may not be there for black women. And what I mean by that, I could be wrong, is that the man nowadays, they're not going for the black women. They want to go for the white women. They may say that she's younger, or she's already got her head on her shoulders, or they got everything that they want. Black man, white man, whoever it is. But I think that the reason why...
misconception.
Well, I think the reason why the black woman is, she's done. She's all like, you know what? I really don't have time for this. I'm not going to sit around and wait on anybody. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on me. I'm going to go ahead and get, like y'all are saying, get my schooling out of the way, get my career, my education started. And if Joe Blow happens to come along and he wants to be with me and he wants to start a family, okay, yeah, let's do it. But if not, then that's where Joe Blow is going to see Karen over here, and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm not worried about Shanitha or anybody else on this side. So let me go ahead and hook up with Karen, get my family started. Let me take care of her and do them or do whatever. And then with Shanitha, she's sitting over here and she's still good, in a good position, because she's doing her. It's just that she's also doesn't have time to play and mess up her career. So she's also probably trying to be picky at this stage in her life, especially if she is over the age of 30. Nobody has time for that, either you come to stay, because we're not about to play
as well.
What?
What's that?
Yeah, I think the expectation is higher as well. You know what I'm saying?
For black women?
You in the sense that, like, there'll be like black women who will say, what can you do for me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do for me that I cannot do for myself?
Right.
And that also takes a bit longer to be in a relationship, because if I'm 25 or 27, 28, and you're the same age, and you're just not going places, I'm not trying to wait on that. Like, I'm going to continue doing me and get myself together, and hopefully you catch up. And if you don't, there's going to be somebody who's ahead of me that I'm going to be looking at.
Right.
Okay, I can hear that.
Or that's already where I'm at.
Okay, I can hear that. So pretty much what I'm hearing is that in this day and age, it's 2022, that nobody should be waiting on anybody. Everybody need to take their life in their own hand. That's pretty much what I'm hearing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so with that being said, do you think that the narrative of the black family will change now that more women are now starting to take control and starting to lead their own lives? Do you think that will affect the black family in a negative or a positive way?
I think it affects the nuclear family in general.
Well, not the nuclear. The black. We're talking about the black family, not just necessarily nuclear, because the nuclear family could be a black woman with a white man. But we're talking about a black woman with a black man. Do you think that would change the narrative what is going on right now with more black women coming out and being more independent?
I can't speak
I
on
think
that
it
because
changes
I've
the
always been
dynamic
independent.
in a way, because black men have a, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you're the head of the household type thing. You're the head of the household. You're the provider for your family. Like, take mom and dad, my parents, for example. My dad was in the military, and then he worked for the military when he got done, and then, you know what I'm saying, he retired. And from what I can remember, when I was very, very, very young, probably like 4 or 5, my mom worked at a bank. After that, she didn't work at all until my dad retired.
Okay.
Because my dad was the head of the household. He was the breadwinner. He was the one to make the money. She was to take care of the children and make sure they were raised upright.
And what did you
And
say about that,
nowadays,
Alexis?
women, especially black women,
No, continue. What were you saying?
Oh, I said nowadays women, especially black women, are taking a more role in the front. There's also been a lot of broken families in the black community as well, where the women have no choice but to take on that role.
Right. Alexis, what do you say? Where are you coming from with this?
I pretty much agree with everything that Mickey's saying. I think it's pretty accurate. I don't really think there was any like falsehood or exaggeration in what she was saying. I think everything she said pretty much kind of just touched the point.
Now, I have an opinion. I don't think, like I said, this is just my opinion, but I don't think that it's all of a sudden that black women are not getting married at younger ages. Like I said before, I think that, we've just been focused either raising kids or trying to get our education on, that it just has the opportunity may have presented itself, or maybe it did not present itself, to be married at a young age. And if you didn't get presented at a young age, again, like Mickey said and like Alexa said, you're not going to sit around and wait for someone to, pick you up. Oh, woe is me, save me. No, a lot of people are trying to go ahead and get themselves together, get their education on, because they, more than likely, they do have other responsibilities, whether it's taking care of their kids, or whether it's taking care of someone in their family, or whether it's just taking care of them. They didn't have that luxury of getting married before 25, or, getting married at 18 and 26 and 27. So, I don't know. That's...
Now, with the marriage and the age of marriage, I'm glad you brought up the age of marriage, because it used to be a time in the black American culture, in the black American history, that a younger girl would be married. I mean, we all seen Color Purple. We know how, what was Whoopi Goldberg's name in Color Purple?
Celie.
Celie was married off to Mr. At a young age. Now, what is that, like 70, 80 years later? Now black women are now able to wait, or if they don't want to, not get married.
Right.
Do you see progress? Do you see progress since then?
Well, the progress since then is you were actually being forced in an arranged marriage. Like they said back then, if you're old enough to bleed, you're old enough to breed. So they were looking at, like, even in the royalty or in Indian cultures or other cultures, if you reach that age of puberty, or I'm not even going to say maturity, of puberty, you're already getting married off. You're getting married with the dowry. They have to pay a dowry. And you got to get out the house and start your own family. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, people have come, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. They're coming into their own, and it's like you said, maybe I don't want to get married. Maybe I don't want to have children.
True.
Maybe I don't want to be a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old married to a 40 or 50-year-old man.
I don't think them 13 and 14 years wanted it.
I don't think they wanted it either. Exactly. Now they have their choices, and it's what they want to do. They have so many choices on who they want to be with, how they want to deal with it. You're not forced in a situation like that anymore.
All right, Mickey, what about you?
I was listening to what Erica said, and I can agree with that. There's more of a choice now. Before your job was to stay at home with the kids, get married young, so you can start having babies early to build on your family and things like that. And nowadays, women have more of a choice, especially Black women, where like Erica said, you might not want to get married, you might not want to have kids, or you might not want to do it so early, so that you're spending your, what's the word I'm looking for?
Youth.
Not your best year.
Your youth.
But you're spending your entire youth raising babies and being beholden to someone else in a sense. And women nowadays, a lot of them just don't want that.
Right. Okay.
And the ones that do want it equally, or as close to equal as possible.
Okay. I can understand that. Now, Alexis, I got a question for you. Do you think that, because I hear all the time that women want a man that will protect, provide, and all of that. When they was doing these arranged marriages, they was actually setting these little girls up. And I say little girls because they were 13 and 14 years old, but they were setting these girls up with men who would protect, provide, and do all of that for them. Do you think that it's better now than it was back then?
I mean, depending on who you're talking to, most people would agree that 13, 14, around that age, even though you're a teenager, you can speak and talk. Like, to some people, like, that age is still considered like a child, like not necessarily a baby, but when you use the word baby for kids that age, everyone knows what that means.
Right.
So yes, I believe it is a lot better to not force literal kids, and in that sense, to get married to a grown man. It's definitely a lot better now, and it goes back to having that choice as well. And I believe that kind of all this kind of plays into like societal pressures, because some women feel like they're pressured by society to have to pop out kids at a certain age and to get married, and I feel like for some reason certain women kind of just adhere to that societal standard, and some women are like, no, screw that, I'm gonna get married when I want to, I'm gonna have kids when I want to.
Okay. And that just gives you more empowerment. So you're saying right now women are more, even though women do want to be protected, they do want to be provided for and things of that nature, they also want to be empowered to be able to choose who does that for them.
Yes.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I'm pretty sure, the little 13 and 14-year-old girls that were getting married to, these grown men back in the day, I'm pretty sure they wanted to wait a little later on in life to, be able to have that experience. Because, when you're of that age, there are certain things you don't really understand. And when you're being forced to understand that, it makes things more complicated because, again, you don't understand. When you're trying to figure this out, why you're so young, married to someone who is significantly older than you. So, yeah, it does feel a lot better nowadays to be empowered to make those choices on your own versus being forced to make those choices.
I feel that. Now, I want to ask this question. It's more of a rhetorical question. I don't expect a real answer for this because this is a question that is actually unfathomable. Pretty much, it seems like when we're speaking about these arranged marriages between our ancestors, our recent ancestors, the ones who was arranging these marriages with these 14-year-old girls to marry these 40-year-old men, it seems like it's actually a play off of what the royalty used to do. We're watching, what is that? The Bridgertons. And it seems like in royalty, with the European royalty, which one thing I love about that show is that they include both races, so both so-called races.
Well, yeah, that's what I like about it.
They have the black people, aka the Moors, and then they have the hybrid Europeans, or aka the Europeans.
They even brought in Indians.
Right. So I love that. That's a beautiful thing because that's exactly more. It's more factual than all these other period shows make it seem. But in there, they was having the royalty set up with the young girls in the royal family have to marry older men in the royal family in order to be able to have a stand, have some kind of a stature for themselves. The only question is, do you think that our ancestors, and again, we don't have to answer that because we don't know what our ancestors were thinking. Do you think that they probably borrowed from that in order to be able to make a stronger black family, or was that just something that we was duped into, probably by Europeans?
I think it dates back to many, probably BC. It's all the way back, and it's actually in all cultures. The marrying of someone from a prominent family to increase your status in life.
Right, but we wasn't. But we as black people weren't doing that here in the United States.
Well, here in the United States, we weren't even people.
No, I'm not talking about slavery. I'm not talking about during slavery. I'm talking about post-slavery. When we were sharecroppers, when we built Rosewood, when we built Paris Street, North Carolina, when we built Black Wall Street, when we were being successful in the 30s, during the time of Color Purple, when we were free, when we were people. What do you think that we probably adopted that culture from, or do you think that we continued that culture from where we came from, where we were snatched from?
I don't. If we adopted the culture, I don't think it was adopted in the same way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't heard of many arranged marriages in the Black American family,
right? Especially
to someone significantly older,
right?
So I think if we did adopt it, I don't think it was adopted in the same way, and I don't think it carries the same meaning.
It doesn't. That much we do know.
I think it's more about being taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a woman who is of age and she does choose to date an older man, it's probably because he's very well put together. And, you know what I'm saying, like, that's somebody who can help take care of you while you're also taking care of yourself, especially in today's day and age.
Right.
In today's day and age, you know what I'm saying, usually one partner will take care of everything while the other one goes to school. And once that one is done with school, then the other one will go to school, and the one that's finished will take care of everything. And then, you know what I'm saying, they come together with their careers and their futures.
Okay. I feel that. What about you, Alexis? What you think? Do you think that was something that we adopted or that we benefited from other cultures, or do you think that was something that we had in our culture already?
I mean, I think people kind of probably took a look at, others doing that, and they were like, well, let's run with it and see just how successful we can be with it. And it kind of sounds like the whole arranged marriage thing is like a woman, kind of, of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like that whole thing is about a woman needing a man to be successful or to have some sort of status, as you mentioned earlier, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I don't know. I don't believe that started with us. I believe we just kind of took a look at it and said, hey, let's, as silly as it sounds, hey, let's give it a try, see how it works out for us.
Okay, I feel that. What about you, Miss C Squared?
I think that we've already had it like that, because if you look back in African kings and queens, they, like Shaba and different African kings, they married, I don't want to say they married young, but they already established, you want to come into my tribe, or you want me to marry into your family. Well, what are you going to do? Even in Coming to America, you had to have something to come with, and be presented. You couldn't just marry, just somebody off the streets. You had to marry somebody that was, had something going for them. And so it's like Nikki and Alexis are saying, you want to continue that
Tradition.
that tradition. You want to go ahead and, you want to be able to help them just like they're helping you. You want the legacy of your family to continue. And it's supposed to be that you thrive and grow together. And whether you succeed or you don't, the whole point was for it to be together.
All right. See, that's what.
I think we also have to keep in mind that people got married really young back in the day, so that they could start having children early, because people didn't live that long. A lot of kids died in infancy, or they died in their youth, in their childhood. So they had to have a bunch of kids to continue on their family name.
Okay. And so now it's 2022. We don't need those same medical benefits and things of that nature because our children are actually surviving. Do you think that the black man's state that the black man is in now is affecting the women's choice in their career versus men?
I think there is a stereotype, unfortunately, of what a black man is.
Okay, elaborate.
And I think that's a deterrent.
Okay, elaborate a little bit. What do you mean by the stereotype versus the reality?
Well, I feel like the stereotype is that, you know what I'm saying, young black men, they're all thugs. And, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, well, he's not going to stay. Your dad's going to go out for a pack of cigarettes one day and never come back. It's in comedy. It's in, certain movies. There's just this negative stigma.
Is that still going on today?
Of what it means to be a black man. And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the black man that don't fit into that stereotype should be more in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to be the type of black man that you would want, or the type of man in general that you would want your daughter to be with.
Right.
And, somebody who's in and out of jail, on and off the street, on and off drugs, always getting into trouble, never staying at home. That's what people think black men are still, even today. There are still people who believe that. I don't believe that is the case. But, there are still people who do believe that.
Right. And
my friend's mom is one of them.
Oh, wow.
And it's crazy, because she's got 4 black children.
And is she black herself?
No.
She is not black. She is white, and she thinks that black men are what's wrong with the world.
Okay, so now I get what
she has 4 children with black men.
Now that could be a very, we actually want to, Alexis, I want you on that show too, but I definitely want to have a show about being raised by a white parent in a black world. That's definitely another good topic for this Revolutionary Hour. And Alexis, I would love it if you could join us on that. But right now, I do want to kind of focus on the fact that there are black women out there that push that stereotype. There are black women out there, and because I see it a lot. You know me. I have custody of my 2 boys, and I've had them most of their life. You know what I'm saying? But when I moved to Florida, it was strange. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I moved to Florida, and I was trying to talk to some girls out there, some black girls out there, and a lot of the times I would tell them that I have children, and the first thing they ask me is, "Do I have baby mama drama?" The second thing they ask me is, "When do I see my kids?" And the third thing they ask me is how much I pay in child support, not realizing I have full custody of my 2 boys. And then you have the state of Florida, the government itself, sending me letters talking about I have to put myself on child support. Why do you think that stereotype is pushed so much that even men who are actually out there negating that stereotype still falls up under that stereotype? And this is for everybody. I want to hear everybody's opinion on this.
I think that falls to the system as well, the system that we have in place, like our judicial system. It's not often that a man will get custody of his children. Like, you have to really prove that mother is crazily unfit for the man, especially in places like Texas, to have custody of their children. Custody is most often awarded to the mother.
Yes. It's very rare that you'll have a father.
Sometimes the mother is much worse.
It's very rare that you'll have a father, like Mickey is saying, that one, you have a father that wants to step up and take full custody of their child 24/7. And then two, when they do, like I said, you are a rarity because most people don't see that. You know, it's just like the women, like you said, that they were asking you, oh, so when do you see your kids? How often do you got them? You pay a lot in child support? Baby mama drama. Because it's always how they used to say, like on Lauren Lakes and what mamas used to say, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. And the mother is the one that's usually, quote unquote, stuck with the children. And the dad is usually the one that has the liberty that he can just come and go as he chooses. Pay the child support and keep it moving. I'm not saying that you don't have men out there that have custody of their children willingly, not because the mom died during birth or, you know, something like that. But it's I'm not saying that you don't have the men out there, but it's not as...
It's a rarity.
It's a rarity. It's not as common as you would think.
What about you, Alexis? What you think about that situation?
I feel like there are some, of course, you know, it's not like there's going to be 0%. There are some that, you know, are like that. And, you know, I think people kind of, again, this is going to go to my opinion earlier about arranged marriages. Sometimes people, when they see certain things, they run with it, and then that's it. You know, like there are some people that form certain like opinions, or you know, they see someone making a certain impression, you know, around them, and then that's all they have to go with. You know, that's the only opinion that they formed for it. And I also think it's kind of a part of like, you know, bringing, you know, people of color down too, because you know, you don't really hear too many people saying, oh well, you know, you don't see too many, you know, white fathers and their kids. You know what I mean? Just like stuff like that too.
Right.
So I believe it all, that it plays a part in that as well, kind of just like to bring people of color down as well.
Okay, I feel that.
I feel like that could happen with, you know, with a white man as well. You know what I mean? Like I've known a couple, you know, of white men that kind of fit that stereotype that people try to set for black men. You know, they're not there, they're having to pay child support, you know, this, that, and the other. So if people are trying to make it purely like a race thing, I don't think you can just stick that on black people or on any one race. I believe it has to do solely with the person that is carrying out the action of not being there for the mother or the child. I don't believe it is race, or it shouldn't be race-based, but obviously people try to make it seem that way. Okay,
I feel that. I feel that. You know, that's actually a very good point, because if we are going to, let's say we do take race out of it. Let me ask you women a question. Do you think if we actually put the focus on more on the succeeding fathers out there, and we start to get rid of the narrative of the, or not even get rid of the narrative, because the only people that can get rid of that narrative is the people themselves, but we get rid of the sight being on these baby daddies or these dads that don't do for their children. We start focusing more on the fathers that are actually doing for their children. Do you think that they can actually put some kind of a different spin on it? Maybe more boys will want to grow up to be like the fathers that women are actually celebrating, versus always bringing up or talking about the futures in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like when women talk about the futures of the world and the futures of the world are still getting their way, more boys want to grow up to be futures. Do you think that spinning it for more Russell Wilsons or saying more about what's his name, Michael B. Jordan? What is it, Michael B. Jordan, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't have kids.
No, he don't have kids, but the way he treats his woman, he's going to be a great father.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I can agree with that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I've heard the saying. I've heard the saying, like, you know, you can tell if, you know, a man is a good man by the way he treats his mother. I've heard that a lot.
Right.
You know, if he treats his mother good, supposedly, you know, he's supposed to treat you good. So yeah, I've heard that.
So you would say, would you think that, let's say we teach the next generation to focus on the men that are actually doing good instead of trying to call out the men that aren't doing good, do you think we can change the narrative that we see?
I would like to hope that we could.
You can try.
But I think that falls a lot on the mother as well, especially in like a single parent home. What is that? Like you know, for example, like with Erica, if you don't mind me saying.
Right.
As far as I know, Erica never spoke ill of her kids' dad to them or around them.
He did that on him.
You know what I'm saying?
Own.
Like their opinion of their father was based on their relationship with their father,
right?
Not Erica's opinion of their father.
And I'm not saying that specifically, but I just
that more mothers should do that.
And I'm not saying that about specifically the her children's father. I'm just saying like what you're saying right there. Children, they gauge off of the relationship versus what the other parent is telling them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you have a good man that wants to be a father to his children, you should let him. Because, you know what I'm saying, like, a good man can teach his boys, for example, also how to be a good man.
Right. Now, well, that brings up a good question. Do you think a woman could teach her son how to be a good man?
Ooh. We had a debate about that. I say yes. And I got two sons. One says yes and the other one says no. But it all depends on how you're breaking it down to. Because I can't teach a man to be a man, but I can teach him
how to be a good
man towards a woman and how to treat a woman. Now,
yeah, that's what I was going to
going back to that other question that you was asking about putting the Russell Wilsons up front. The Russell Wilsons are up front, but you also have that bad boy. Everybody wants a bad boy. Everybody wants that good-looking thug, that pretty thug, until you got that pretty thug. And then it's like, okay, where's my Russell Wilson at? It was all fun and games until you're really living up to your expectations of nothing but a pretty thug. You're not doing anything else.
So why do they got to be the Russell Wilson? You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's a successful black man who's made a name for himself.
No, that's not why. But that's not
that you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the men that you don't see out in the forefront like him every single day? Like, you have good men that go to work and they provide for their families and they're good to their children and they're good to their wives.
That encompasses the Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. That's what I mean by the Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson has told Sierra plenty of times, we don't need Future. I got him. And if you look at how he's raising Future's boy is more Russell Wilson's boy than it is Future's boy.
Yeah, it's not about the money or anything. It's about how he's being raised.
I thought that you meant like his status.
Oh, no.
Just pretty much the reason why I brought up Michael B. Jordan is because Michael B. Jordan listened to the girl that he's with right now. So on her, was it a birthday or when he proposed to her, something like that, he took her to her favorite aquarium, rented out the whole aquarium, and sectioned off her favorite animal in the sea so that she'll be surrounded by them the whole time they had a dinner date.
That's sweet.
Oh, see, that's what's wrong with y'all women now. Y'all don't even know when a good man being a good man.
That is. How is that not being a good man?
You didn't know he did that. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't know that he did that. I don't follow Michael B. Jordan.
We know, but we know Future has dogged so many women, but we don't know what Michael B. Jordan has done for his women.
I don't follow Future either.
I get that, but we still know the narrative of Future. Everybody on this phone call right now understood what I meant by when I mentioned Future's name. They understood what I was talking about, but y'all didn't know what Michael B. Jordan did just last year for the girl he's with now.
Okay, and what about the Michael B. Jordan who can't afford to do any of that?
I'm not talking about.
So
okay, see, y'all are still stuck on money and status. I'm not talking. Yeah, he did that because he listened to her.
Exactly.
He knew what
it's
she
all about
loved.
listening and paying attention.
And that's what I'm saying. So why is it that we don't know that Michael B. Jordan listened to his woman and supply her with something that she wanted, and instead we do know that Future is a dog?
Because once again, the bad boys are thrown in front. Whether it's because of a scandal,
I would just like to say,
or whether it's
I
not.
didn't know that about either one of them. So
No,
Right.
Wait a minute. So you never heard that Future is a dog?
I don't know anything about Future except his name is Future and he got a kid with Sierra. That's it.
Well, on a more of a
anything. But for me personally, it's the simple things. When it comes to things like that, like take my husband for example. He didn't even ask me yet. Now that I'm thinking about it, he asked my dad, standing in my kitchen at my house that my mom still lives in today. He asked her if he could marry me,
Right.
Or he asked my dad if he could marry me. I mean, Dad didn't say nothing at first. Mama had to tell him the answer. But, for me,
I wasn't supposed to laugh at that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to edit that out, but this is live.
no, it's fine. But to me, that's just as good as taking me to my favorite restaurant, sectioning off a portion of the zoo or whatever, and doing all that good stuff.
Right.
Now, yes, you should hear more about things like that.
Yes, exactly what I'm talking about. We don't hear about that a lot.
Absolutely should.
When you turn on the TV, when you turn on Black Twitter or Black Facebook or whatever y'all want to call it, you hear more of the narrative of what's going on with the men that women like to call dogs. And I'm not trying to take anybody's side. I want to be like impartial on it. So I just want to bring up the information. That's why I say the women, the men that women call dogs. You know what I'm saying? But I hear that a lot. But it's so many men out there. Why don't they get that type of attention? Why do you think? So, and I'm not saying from you, because I know y'all probably have great men in y'all lives, and I know Curtis. I know Curtis personally. He had never dogged you out, and I want to give him his shout outs on that and give him his props because men don't get them type of props. Men get props when they dog women out. So why is it that you think that even women are going for the ones that are God, they're just pretty much dogging women out?
It's that bad boy effect I keep telling you.
I get that, but what is it about that bad boy effect?
I don't know. It's I can speak for myself. I don't know. It's that pretty thug. You think when you were little, it's like, ooh, okay, it's something that you weren't able to have. You're looking at it like, oh, okay, yeah, he a pretty thug, but he's a bad boy. I don't want a bad boy. This is the type of man that I really want to, that I know I should be with, all while I'm secretly looking at the pretty thug over here who got the muscles, the teeth, the bandana on, and he glistening out there and just doing bad and stuff. While you got my man over here in the suit and tie, or he's even working at the car shack or whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
Maybe
it's just something about that pretty thug.
Some women don't think that they can get better.
Right.
I think that's part of it. I mean, me personally, you ain't finna you're not gonna mistreat me. Like, I had a friend who used to love to get mistreated by the dudes that she was with, and all of them were that bad boy type because she didn't think she deserved any better or that she could get any better, and they used to just do her dirty all the time. And I just didn't understand it. And, she'd cry and complain to me, but wouldn't let me do anything about it. I mean, until one day one of them got in my face and I told him, I am not her. I will fight you and I don't care.
Right.
But I'm also not stupid. You're way bigger than me. So if I can pick it up, believe you're getting hit with it. I'm not that kind of woman. So I really don't understand personally that mindset. But for her and women like her, they just don't think that they can get better. And then for other women, it's that forbidden fruit thing. I'm not supposed to have it, so I really want it.
Right.
So with that being said, can I ask the question of why are men getting blamed for a lot of women's choices?
I don't know. is that a fair question though?
I'm gonna ask you like this.
Because-
Let's put it like this. Why is the fire getting blamed for burning somebody? You knew it was fire. You knew it was hot.
Why did Adam eat that?
Okay, but why are you fire though? Don't you think
Right.
that's the problem?
Okay. You got. That's
I
a
don't
good
know if it's
question,
so
and
much
that's a
like
question.
the women being blamed for their bad choices. Their choice was a terrible man.
Okay,
That
but
man's terrible whether she chooses him or not.
right. But the question that's a question for men, and I am going to have another show, and I want to have a lot of men. I'm trying to get that together. Well, I will be asking that same question, but the question I have for women is, why step into the fire?
But then again, who's to say that the pretty thug is always fire?
Well, that's
Maybe
the
you just not the right woman for him at that time. Maybe maybe he's not the right man for you. You could be over here with Joe Schmo and still get burned.
Okay, you know what I pictured in my mind when you said that?
What?
Not every woman can be a Bonnie and Clyde. So if you can't be Bonnie, why are you stepping into the fire?
Right. Because it's the, just like Mickey was saying, just to see that forbidden fruit, to see if you can even step into the fire.
So why
not?
So why blame the fire for burning you?
Who said that they blame the fire?
Oh,
for
that's the
burning?
narrative. That's the
Is
narrative.
it?
That's the narrative. When women have baby by somebody who has 4 or 5 different baby mamas.
Well, that's on you. If you already know that they got
no. That's
4 or
not.
5 baby mamas.
That is not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, why is that being still accepted?
Why is that being what?
Why is it still being accepted? It's still being accepted to this day. It's being accepted that a woman can go out there, step into the fire, get burned, and people blame the fire. Why is that being accepted?
Because people, maybe they're fools. I don't know.
I can't answer that question. I can't. I didn't step into the fire and get burned
And I
like
don't
that.
mean,
So I
I'm
don't
not
know.
trying to say that people are stupid or nothing like that. But
Right.
it's like maybe they're foolish to the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Exactly. I get that. Because most women have stepped into the fire, whether it was with a baby daddy or whether it was with a dude that you've been dealing with for years and he do not want to commit, but he's committing to other women throughout your whole relationship. That is also a fire. But there's women out there who will.
I mean, that's her fault. That's her fault, not it.
Right.
I don't want to say that's her fault, not his. It's her fault for staying in that situation.
Exactly.
That situation is not conducive to her well-being. But it's also on him. He's probably thinking, well, she's going to let me do it, so I'm going to do it.
Right.
So
it's not on him.
Right. Just because you can?
Yeah, it's not on
Like,
him. I had someone tell me that.
Neither one is okay.
I had somebody tell me that because, like an idiot, I was in that situation. And I asked them, why did you treat me like that? Why did you continue to do me like that? And the best advice they ever told me was, because you let me. So for 10 years on and off, going back and forth in this situation with this person, I used to sit back and ask myself, what the heck is wrong with me? What am I doing? 1, it was the location on where I was. 2, it was because I was like, okay, I already know this person. I'm used to this person. So it's the familiarity of this person. 3, it was all like, do I even really want to go back out there and get back out in the dating pool and this and that? I just didn't want to be bothered. 4, again, I was already used to this person. And it was like, I don't know. Until you tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you're finally going to realize, you know what? My worth is way better than this. I know my worth and I'm done. I'm tired of being sick and tired.
And here's a testimony. If you had a chance to do it all over again, would you? Would you do it the same?
I wouldn't do it the same. I would change it.
What about you, Mickey? Would you?
I learned from that situation.
Excuse me, Alexis. Cause you've been quiet. In a situation like that, can you find yourself in a situation like that? And second question, if you did end up in a situation like that, even though you tried to stay away from a situation like that, what would be the best advice somebody could give to you that could wake you up? What would you tell yourself if you saw yourself in that situation?
So if I was
and it goes to I think either Mickey or Erica said it. If I was with someone that had like commitment issues, and I didn't figure it out, until like we had been together for a significant amount of time, I would hope that someone would see that I was in this type of relationship, and then I could kind of just sit down, talk to that person, and be like, hey, you're stepping out on me. I don't like that. Is this something you could change? If not, then I just don't want to be with you anymore. And I know that there are some things that you can't change overnight. Like some people go to therapy for that. When they have commitment issues, whether it's staying for someone with in a significant amount of time, or just stepping out on your partner. It sucks, because some people are like, oh, well, stay with me while I work on myself. Depending on the person and the situation, that might not be plausible. But I would kind of tell myself, talk to this person, help them if you can. Because, sometimes people, with issues like that, commitment issues, they just need a little help, you know what I mean? And a lot of people are more inclined to just walk away than to help. And then, you got, you women that are like, oh, well, it's not your responsibility to raise this man. It was his mother's. That's true. However, if I see someone that's in need of some kind of help, if I am able to help them properly, I'll help them. Will I be in a relationship with this person? No. But, I can help them seek therapy, and, I don't want to say hold their hand because that sounds a little childish, but something like that. I can help them through their journey, so to speak, I guess.
Okay.
I think that's good. But at the same time, something that a lot of people realize but don't take action on, or maybe they don't realize it until it's absolutely too late. No matter how much you do for somebody, you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped.
Right.
Okay.
And if they're not interested in making that change, then that's not a situation you need to stay in.
Right. And you end up finding out usually the hard way, or after wasted years or months or whatever. But the only way it's wasted to me, and I look back on it, the only way it's wasted is if you don't learn anything from it.
Right. Now,
because everything that you go through in life, it should build you up for the next situation that's going to come up.
Right. Now, this is brings up, I'm glad y'all brought it up, because I wasn't really going to ask this question. But this is a very good question now that y'all bring it up. When I was growing up, I was raised by thugs, and I was raised by men. And both of them told me that you have to be able to have a relationship with your woman to the point where you're each other's therapist. Fast forward 20 years later, I'm seeing the narrative that the black woman does not want to be the therapist to the black man. They're telling them that they need to go out and get this therapy. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that it's not as easy as it is for other people, for black men to get help. Do you think that the black woman is doing the black man a grave disservice by not being that shoulder that he can cry on, or being that ear that he can talk to?
I think that there's a difference. You can always be that shoulder to cry on and that ear to listen to, but if there's warrant and need for professional help, then that's what you also need to seek. Because don't forget, she's going to have her own problems and issues. Yes, you do talk to each other about it, but you don't want to weigh each other down. That's where you go to therapy, whether you go to couples therapy or singles therapy. I don't have a problem with therapy. I think everybody should go to therapy, because sometimes you don't want to listen to the opinion of your significant other or spouse or whatever it is. Sometimes it's harder for you to for them to accept what you're saying, or for you to accept what they're saying. And it's sometimes it's better to have that other person who has nothing to do with the situation. They're on the outside looking in. They can help you both. Mm-hmm. So no, you shouldn't. Yeah. You should not always rely and say, "Oh, my wife got it." You know what I'm saying? She my therapist, or my husband, he my therapist. To a certain point, yes, they should be, but I still think you should also go outside.
Okay, what about you, Mickey?
I think that's like something that Mama always says, or my mom always says, or has said a lot in my lifetime, so that I can recall her saying. sometimes people can't see the forest through the trees. Mm-hmm. And it is at that point where you just can't hear each other anymore. I had a person in my life that couldn't see the forest through the trees. No matter what I did, no matter what I said, they just couldn't get it. They couldn't hear it. It was not making sense to them until it was absolutely too late and they remembered right before they lost their life. So sometimes you can't be the shoulder. Sometimes somebody, like Erica said, on the outside looking in has to be that shoulder.
Okay. What about you, Alexis? What you think about the matter? Could you be your man's therapist?
It's like everyone's saying, to a certain point, yes, because I believe it's called professional help for a reason.
Right.
You know, it's obviously these are professionals that, you know, specialize in this type of thing. So that's why they would be better suited for your significant other to speak to. You know, because some people have certain, like, mental defects, so to speak, I guess, that you yourself can't, like, take on, and you shouldn't. This might sound mean, but you shouldn't have. It's not that you shouldn't have to, but something like that. Like, you know, there are certain things that are beyond your control and beyond your, you know, powers. That's why therapy exists, you know. And sometimes it feels better to speak to someone who's not your significant other or, you know, a friend. And I don't feel like people should be so insulted by that. You know, it's not even just about, like, keeping it personal. It's just sometimes it helps to speak to someone you don't know. So, you know, someone on the outside, someone
you feel won't be biased.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you be that person's therapist? I wouldn't say therapist. I would say emotional support system.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
That is refreshing to hear from you ladies, because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's women out there that don't even want to be the man's emotional support system. They don't.
That's terrible. That's your partner. You care about that person. Why wouldn't you want to?
Mickey said that's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I said.
mean,
That's what I said. I mean, I get what you ladies are saying, that at some point this person needs to be able to go get professional help. But what if that person doesn't even know they need professional help because their significant other won't even listen to them? So
I would explain to my significant other, it might be beyond what I can comprehend. You know,
but
I just
you would
might
listen.
not be able to understand how your mind works right now.
But
I can listen to you if I understand to some degree. I can offer advice, but you know, like, a person's mind only goes, like, you can only understand it once it goes so far. Then that's when it's time for professional help.
Right.
Some people have to be pushed into, you know, getting professional help. And, you know, it's kind of like trying to force someone you care about to go to, you know, rehab for a drug problem or something. They're gonna like dislike you in that moment, but they're gonna be so thankful later because it's going to help them later on in life. You know, like if someone had commitment issues and, you know, they basically had to be forced to go to therapy for that, they're gonna be so happy later that, you know, that they can stay committed to you, or, you know, if you were helping a friend with that. So there are a lot of positives and negatives to take with that, and I don't think people think about that. People are only thinking in the moment, ooh, I don't like her right now. She's making me do this. But then, you know, when you're done with the process, you're like, oh, well, look at that. You know, it's actually not so bad. You know, this actually helped me. You know, it improved my life in some way.
Right.
Look where I'm at now.
Okay, I like that. I like to hear that. Now, before we end, because we have been going for over an hour. But it's been a great conversation.
It really
something
has.
that we had. It's an eye opener, and I think it's a lot of this whole conversation. Men, especially black men, need to hear. So I only got one real question. Now I know that this doesn't actually fit everybody's narrative, but you see what's going on in the United States right now, and I just want to ask one question: do you think that the black man is losing his grip? Because it seems like the black woman is now being accepted. White women were starting to be accepted since the 1920s, and white men have just been accepted since forever. Do you think that the black man is at risk of being obsolete? Because it seems like everybody is getting along except the black man. The black man is the one being gunned down. The black man is the one that's having all these stereotypes put up against him. I'm not saying that everybody don't have stereotypes, but the black man has the main stereotypes that live, that thrive. Do you think that the black man has any kind of a chance to survive in this in the world that we are building now, or do they need to change? Or I ain't gonna say do you think they need to change, but do you think that they won't be able to survive in this coming world that is coming?
Why would they not be able to survive when they've been surviving since the dawn of time?
How
they've always been.
Okay.
Tried to get rid of the black man, deface him, and devalue him.
Let me explain a little bit better then, because I'm not saying they won't be here. I'm not saying they won't exist. But what black man do you know is really in power right now? We have one, of Barack Obama, but other than that, who else can you say?
It doesn't necessarily have to be in power of anything.
But that's the only way that a person can survive is if they have power. That's the only way a person can. That's the only way any group of people can survive is if they have some kind of power.
I think that unfortunately they are going to have to try harder than anybody else, however unfair that they may be. This is not an if you can't beat them, join them type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's an if you stand for nothing, you fall for everything type thing.
Okay.
And on the hierarchy, in the hierarchy, so to speak, it's like let's say like if you're going up for a job, for example, and you have 4 educated men, or 2 educated men, 2 educated women, 2 white, 2 black. 9 times out of 10, they will give the job to the white man before they give it to the white woman, but they'll give it to the black woman before they give it to the black man.
Mm-hmm.
That was an episode of Good Time.
Yep, it sure was.
Florida Evans got that job at the bank, and James is the one that applied for it.
I remember that.
It was true then, and it's true now.
True.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
While it is unfortunate, you're just going to have to try harder.
Because that shows a lot right there.
I feel like...
Go ahead.
I feel like if... and this might just... I mean, this is like just stating the obvious, but if people would just change how they look and, view black men, they wouldn't have to try to survive. Like, we should just exist. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have to try this. We should just be able to, exist. Like, it's such a weird concept for me to grasp, to have to think that, black men have to struggle to survive. That's just weird to me. I don't understand why anyone of any race has to struggle to survive, in any gender. Like, we should all just be able to exist. Like, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, no, you're making perfect sense for a perfect world. You are. I agree with you completely. I'm sorry?
I said, perfect sense for a perfect world. That's what's unfortunate about it. Our world is definitely, it's not perfect, and it's not fair. But no one ever said life was going to be easier, that it was going to be fair. And
True.
That's why it is so unfortunate that they do have to try harder, and I feel like Gandhi said it right. Be the change you want to see in the world.
I don't like that racist.
And, huh?
I don't like that racist. Gandhi was the most racist. He hated black people.
But he still made a good point.
I'm not saying he didn't make a good point. I'm not negating
this.
this point. I'm not negating this point. I just want to put out there because a lot of black people really did not know that a lot of Gandhi's teachings were against black people. A lot of people didn't know that.
Well, I personally don't know a lot about Gandhi, but I do know he said be the change you want to see in the world. And I think, at least I think he did. Don't let me lie to you.
No, I believe either he said something like that or somebody on his stature said something like that. So you're right, and it's a proper quote. It's a very proper quote. In order to be, it's just like Michael Jackson said. I have to start with the man in the mirror.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's a proper quote because even Michael Jackson said, "I have to start with the man in the mirror."
Yeah.
So you're right, and once we even as a human race, because it's the only race that exists. Even as a human race, we have to abide by that same concept. It just so happens that in the black community, it is embedded into the black community. It's like a known. And if you don't know that, then you grew up naive. So, but before we do leave, before we end this episode, I do want to give each of you beautiful women a chance to, give some advice to whoever you want to give advice to. Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I actually want to have a podcast on this, but the women period, we're supposed to be the leaders of this world. It's supposed to be a matriarchal society. So in order to be able to get back to that, we have to start listening to the matriarchs. So as Alexis, I don't know if you are a mother, but I do know you have the capabilities of being a mother by harnessing eggs. So, not harnessing eggs, but by having eggs. So any advice that you all want to give to the human race or to the black people or to the black man? I want to give y'all this time right now. Let's start with Alexis.
Well, might be a little weird, but the way I was raised, I was not raised to appreciate my culture. So I would say to anyone who may feel the same, appreciate where you come from, appreciate your roots. If you don't know too much about those, educate yourself. Kind of just appreciate, where you come from, because I was not raised that way. I was raised the opposite. And I wish I would have been given the chance when I was younger to understand my roots and to understand more about, my people, in history beyond what was taught to us in high school. So kind of just appreciate yourself.
Okay, and you know what? We just had a conversation about that earlier too, about how this is going to be a topic for another time, but how some biracials won't claim to be biracial. They won't claim that other race, but they will claim to be black, and I think that's a disservice to themselves. That's negating half of your existence. So you're right. If everybody needs to educate themselves on themselves. If the more you know about you, self-determination becomes a factor. So I like that. What about you, Mickey? What you got to say to the world out there? Need a minute? You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to Miss E Square. We'll come back to Mickey in a moment.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking that, just listen. People don't listen nowadays, especially our youth. We don't have grandmamas. We don't have big mamas. We don't have great grands no more. The elders that we had, we don't have anymore. So if you don't know where you came from, that's where you have to get in those books. Not just the books that they're teaching you in school, but books that they don't want to teach you in school. You need to find out as much knowledge as you can and teach it to your young men. Teach it to your young women. Know your worth. Know that you're more than just bees and hoes out here, and that you have more than just a nice body and hips and lips and shaking it out there for the world to see. You have a brain. God gave everybody a brain, and it's up to you to use your brain. Knowledge is power. And that's one thing Dada used to always tell us. Know where you came from, because if you don't know where you came from, how do you know where you're going? Knowledge is power, no matter what knowledge it is. And you learn something new every day. So keep your mind open. Be available to learn.
Already, I mean, you can't say.
Why they say the pen is mightier than the sword.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. All right, Mickey. What about you? You got a thought together yet?
I'm gonna partially quote a movie, but You know, don't go through life thinking that everyone you meet will one day let you down.
That.
But don't be open to the detriment of yourself.
Okay.
You know, sometimes it's not bad to be selfish. Selfish doesn't have to be a negative thing. Sometimes you have to be a little selfish to get your best self forward. Because you can't help anyone else if you can't help yourself. And whether anyone likes it or not, we're all in this life together.
Exactly.
But we have to live it individually.
Exactly. You know what, ladies?
And knowing your roots, yes, is important. My daughter is biracial. And if you ask her what color she is or what race she is, she will say she is black and she is white.
And as she
Even
should.
at 7, she has never claimed to be one or the other.
My children are biracial.
To have a dad. She's been fortunate enough to have a white dad that knows more about black people than her mom, unfortunately.
My children are biracial. One claims he's both, and the other one doesn't. You know, so you have to claim both heritage, and you have to know who you are.
Both races. Yeah.
Both races, all ethnicities that you are. You can't just leave out one because that's what makes you up.
This is why I teach my children that they are not black, they are not white, because of the simple fact their skin is not replicative of any of those colors, even though neither one of them are colors. But they do know their heritage. They do know where they come from. They know their nationality. They know exactly why they aren't black. They know why they're not white. The government classifies us as white because our family is originally from North Africa. So with that being said, it's so much confusion that has been brought with that race paradigm. I think that's why some people don't want to be biracial. Some people want to be either black or white. And I think that's just a disservice to yourself. That's very disservice to yourself.
It really is.
So that's something I want to put.
You can't know who you are or where you come from if you're denying part of who you are.
Exactly. And you end up in the same predicament that your ancestors was in simply because they didn't understand what that paradigm was even about. So my thing is everybody needs to get with their family and learn about their family heritage, their family history, because you never know. You may think you was white back in the day, but your ancestors could have been black. You never know. So with that being said, ladies, I want to say thank you, because it ain't nothing more refreshing than being able to get some actual knowledge from the matriarchs themselves, because y'all are the ones that bring us into this world through the portal, and we all know what a portal is. Without you, we wouldn't have a belly button. Without you, we wouldn't have this knowledge. We wouldn't know who we are. So, ladies, I just want to say thank you so much. And is there anybody y'all want to give a shout out to before we leave? Anybody y'all want to show some love to before we actually check out?
No, shout out to my people.
Well, that's beautiful. That's very beautiful. So y'all ladies have a wonderful evening, and we definitely can't wait to have y'all back online with us with BOS Says Radio. And hey, but y'all have a wonderful night. Everybody else, I hope y'all have a great. All right, I hope y'all have a great night too. Y'all make sure y'all follow, like, and subscribe. Make sure y'all share this to all the men out there as well. It's time, men, that we start listening to women, and we're going to have a podcast soon where we're going to be able to have the men talking to the women so that the women can listen to the men as well. Because it all starts with dialogue. Change starts with you, but it begins with a dialogue. All right. So with that being said, we're going to keep it moving. We got some more music coming to y'all right now from BOS Says Radio. This is Immaculate with Hateism here on BOS Says Radio, baby. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all in the AM.
Used to be a nobody. I'm
I'm a monster, stuck in the balls. I'm the special, stuck in my paws. I'm involved, listen to relevant rappers to talk, to speak upon. Money and women defended by pawns, no passion. Listen to the beat in their hearts, the courage you wonder is a stomach, the reason they fall. I'm a god, listen to lyrics, I come on the cause. The fire responds to a fast that exits my jaw. Into the dragon and the blessing that angers the captures. The cynical fashion, mobile rappers to put in the casket closed. And my crack becomes a lyrical blasting. And I amped up, hands up, pointing and clapping. All you rapping ignorant pattern is making me fume. Conversations to end your day to all of the news. Addiction like booze, all your animals follow these fools. Social media, Wikipedia, cyclists, you. Thousands of clues, show you primitive spitting and such. Bag artists sounding retarded and rapping for buzz. I finish these fucks when I'm swinging these lyrics I clutch. Plucking the dust, watching fumbling, kicking the crutch. Expose these artists that are actually rapping for luck. They constantly suck and they breathing the pistols to bust. I'm running the bar, rhyming everyone thinking they're tough. In the end, I'ma show you what's up. In the minute, the minute feelings are artists that hard. And the lyrics are coming quick with the knuckles to spar. I'ma kick in the doors, I'ma pick at your flaws. I'ma show you niggas depending on infinite bars. Spit it across, cause the biblical cost me a dog. And I witness the darkest carcass of spiritual balls. Sheep in the farm, all you people that thinking that you're better than not. The penitentiary are serving these bars in the plot. The crook in the cops, or the label that's serving the slop. And your pigs roll around on the substance and swamp. Until they busting your chop, until you punching the clock. Until your family members ready, you're searching to stop. Who the fuck did you tell you was hot? I'm the boss in the middle of it, grabbing the cross. Holocaust, you in the bottom of my shoe when I stomp. In a session, the structure presses will cost you the pop. Flash your face, I'ma show you the after place. The past of saints, or the demon that master hates. Aftertaste, it's nasty when you speak of my name. Foes seek medical attention when experiencing pain. Bones are playing, in the fire I'm burning the blade. This animal's broken teeth and now don't open his cage. Immaculate, come and pack a rattle, the mini on top. My club, I'm the illest so the hating can stop.
Negra Beats.
Scorp Beats.
Don't talk to him.
When I was down, ain't nobody give a shit. And now I'm on a nigga, gotta pay the rent. I done been there, I done done that ever since I was a kid. Said I always had ambition and my dreams was always big. You can do it.
At the bottom, I'd have been trapped in a cage of travesty, hit it, and everybody just said drop 'em. I've been buried alive, left to suffer to die, but I swear to you, I never gave up. Niggas squirming on the ground, tell them stay down, but I found a way up. Ever since my mom passed, I wandered throughout the wilderness, and she your daily misses. I never get the miss, never got used to the awkwardness. I'm feeling deep down in my chest. Use it as a passion and drive to get up on the grind and try to make it out the gutter. Born in the dough, so all I ever had was the everlasting struggle till I get a come up. And I can't stop there. My oldest Naciel needs a house on 100 acres real quick. Joaquin needs his own business that would have him on all 7 continents making deal pics. Only thing broke would be the generational curse. I won't leave my children living off worse. When cowards come to punch my ticket, then they got a brother leaving this all right here in the hearse.
When I was down, ain't nobody give a shit. And now I'm on a nigga, gotta pay the rent. I done been there, I done done that ever since I was a kid. Said I always had ambition and my dreams was always big. You can do it. You can do it. Don't play no games with me. You can do it.
work, you can call me Hustle God. Charged up like a cell phone, now it's on, so I'm guaranteed to make it to the top. Fail bad, let the fade blow away. Took the ritter, stayed in with a bulldozer, made a new way. When you focus on success, it's the best desire when it comes to your different mind states. Wait, patience was the key when it all fell down. Had to understand that it wasn't in the plan. Goddamn, many hypocrites smiling as I fell, hoping that I break when I land. I couldn't see what I had was a pocket full of trash. As all the cowards that claimed to be my friend. Really hung around for the joy, never down for the boy. Never wasn't even my fan. I get a dude won't believe their ass when I'm sober. Gotta focus on the spirit, getting a little colder. Everything I do is soda from the flow up. Had to own up and roll like a boulder. True soldier, let a boss my frame. No way, I'ma play. Stop acting like you lame. I'm out of my business, doing me show. This outside riding, staying in my lane. Baby.
When I was down, ain't nobody give a shit. And now I'm on a nigga, gotta pay the rent. I done been there, I done done that ever since I was a kid. Said I always had ambition and my dreams was always big. You can do it. You can do it. Don't play no games. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. Listen. You can do it. You can do it. If it's wrong, then make it right. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. You can do it.
BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio. BOSS Radio.